Bonnie Prince Charlie, formerly known as Charles Edward Louis John Casimir Sylvester Severino Maria Stuart, remains one of the most evocative and romanticized figures in British and Scottish history. Born on December 31, 1720, in the Palazzo Muti in Rome, he was the grandson of King James II of England and VII of Scotland, who had been deposed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Charles's father, James Francis Edward Stuart, known to Jacobite supporters as the Old Pretender, held a claim to the British throne, and this claim was passed to Charles as the Young Pretender. Raised in exile in a court imbued with Catholic faith and Stuart loyalism, Charles grew up with a deep sense of destiny, believing it was his divine right to restore the Stuart dynasty to its rightful place. Charles first came to prominence in 1745, when he embarked on the audacious campaign that would come to define his life. Determined to reclaim the British throne from the Hanoverians, Charles secured limited French support and landed on the Scottish mainland at Eriskay in the Outer Hebrides on July 23, 1745. Despite initial skepticism among Highland chiefs, his charisma and determination rallied key clans to his cause. Raising the Stuart standard at Glenfinnan, he declared his father king and initiated the Jacobite uprising. What followed was an extraordinary series of events, as Charles and his Jacobite army achieved a stunning victory at the Battle of Prestonpans in September 1745, where they routed the British government forces in a matter of minutes. This early success fueled momentum, and the Jacobite forces advanced southward into England, reaching Derby by December, a mere 125 miles from London. Despite the initial promise, the campaign was plagued by significant challenges. The anticipated widespread English support for the Jacobite cause failed to materialize, and French assistance never arrived in meaningful form. Facing logistical difficulties, dwindling supplies, and the threat of encirclement, the Jacobites made the controversial decision to retreat to Scotland. Charles, who had envisioned a triumphant march to London, reluctantly acquiesced. His campaign's turning point came at the disastrous Battle of Culloden on April 16, 1746, fought on a desolate moor near Inverness. The Jacobite army, outnumbered and poorly supplied, was decisively defeated by the forces of William Augustus, Duke of Cumberland, in a battle that lasted less than an hour. The aftermath was brutal. Cumberland's troops unleashed a wave of savage reprisals on the Highlands, earning him the moniker, Butcher Cumberland. Charles's own escape after Culloden became the stuff of legend. With a bounty of £30,000 placed on his head, he relied on the loyalty and courage of Highlanders to evade capture. Most famously, Flora MacDonald helped him escape to the Isle of Skye disguised as her maid, a daring episode immortalized in song and folklore. After 5 months on the run, Charles finally fled to France, where he attempted to rally support for another invasion. However, his failure at Culloden marked the effective end of the Jacobite cause, and his subsequent efforts to gain French or Spanish backing were met with diminishing interest. The once celebrated Prince Charlie gradually fell into obscurity. Charles's later years were marked by deep personal decline. Disillusioned by his failure and haunted by the loss of his cause, he descended into alcoholism and erratic behavior. His relationship with his longtime mistress, Clementina Walkinshaw, ended acrimoniously, and his marriage to Princess Louise of Stolberg-Gedern was childless and unhappy. Charles grew increasingly paranoid and embittered, living out his final years in Rome under the care of his loyal daughter, Charlotte, born from his relationship with Clementina. He died on January 31, 1788, at the age of 67, and was buried in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, alongside other members of the Stuart family. Despite his personal flaws and the ultimate failure of his quest, Bonnie Prince Charlie remains an enduring symbol of bravery, loyalty, and defiance. His story is immortalized in countless songs, poems, and works of literature, portraying him as a tragic hero whose dreams of glory were undone by circumstance and fate. The Jacobite Rising of 1745, though doomed, left a profound cultural legacy, shaping Scottish identity and folklore for generations. The image of the dashing, romantic prince, clad in Highland attire, leading his men to battle, continues to captivate imaginations to this day.